So I'm working on this 1999 Chevrolet 2500. I had to remove the engine to do some work on the heads, and when I removed the engine, I just removed the way I did it. I just pulled these long bolts out that go horizontally from the front to the back there. There's the back. It's got a nut back there on the back. And I was able to just lift this motor mount, this motor up off of this mount here. And when I went to install the engine, I found it was very difficult to get this to go back over and line up with the transmission. So I decided to just go ahead and remove the motor mount bottom part. It's got 3 nuts and bolts on, attaching it to this plate that's welded to the frame. And so I just removed those and then reattached the upper to the lower with that long bolt through it. And that allowed me to just slide this plate, this motor mount over this plate, and then I could line up the transmission bell housing to the engine easily that way. And before I let the engine down onto the frame, I jostled it around and was able to get all the bolts to go through the holes. And so now I can go back, now the engine's sitting on the frame, and I can go under there and tighten up, put the nuts on all the bolts. There's 3 on each side. Now that I have all the bolts stuck through the holes. You can see on this side here, it's a little harder to see, but got the same situation. There's one of the bolts you can get to there, and one up there. Before, I really couldn't tell how this thing was put together. It was all just covered in dirt and grease and grime. Everything was black, and I've never worked on one of these before, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. But now that I've seen it, taken it apart, now I know the next time if I need to do it, how to go about doing it. And also I learned about rigging up the engine with the chain. I have an engine balancer that mounts across the top, and I've always in the past went front to back, but on this engine it sets back pretty far in the firewall here and there's a cowl over it, and it just would not work out for me to go front to back. But I did realize that going side to side with the load leveler, I was able to just put studs in these heads on the exhaust manifold mounts. And I could easily, the chain then was then somewhat centered on the motor and nowhere near the cowl here. That helped me get it back into place. And I just had a ratchet strap on the crank here going up to where I could balance, pull some weight off of the front to tilt the engine back. So I found it's more convenient when I'm doing these Chevy V8 engines is to use my engine leveler side to side instead of front to back, because it makes the space here be open and clear for the brake booster and the air conditioner and the cover. And so this can go back in and it's clear. I can get my hands back in there to bolt it up. And it's pretty well balanced with these. I got studs in here on the head, and I've just bolted the chain to the leveler here. And to adjust the angle, I just use a ratchet strap strapped around the crank going up to the center there. And I can just tighten this and change the angle of the engine easily. And I like to use a digital angle indicator to get it pretty close.